Hi, my name is Sonia, and I'm here today to discuss one of my personal aha Ttouch moments that really help reshape the way that I approach an animal and my overall viewpoint of them. It all began when I had gone to a Ttouch training with my little angel Joy, who at the time was dog reactive. And I would imagine, like most dog reactive owners, I was a little fearful. I definitely wanted to I was probably overbearing of the environment because I wanted to not rock the boat. And at that time, I was asked to stand in front of the class with Joy. So I grabbed Joy and myself, and I looked at Joy and said, "Joy, sit," in this sort of demeanor. And I was immediately redirected and asked to ask her to sit, which was already mind blowing for me and gave me a new way of looking at it. But then immediately after, these following words were stated to me, which was, "See the brilliance in Joy." And ever since then, my life has changed forever because of those simple words. Because not only did I not recognize that when an animal would come into my life, that maybe somebody wanted help, to help change a behavior or a fault within them, that I would zone in on that, as I would imagine most people do. But that I was missing the bigger picture, being truly able to see the animal as a whole in their true brilliance, which on another level helped me to see my own. It's really been such a profound journey on the Ttouch, path that I've been walking. And I can walk into a session now and, have that old adage of don't judge a book by its cover. Instead, don't judge at all. And just as each animal crosses my path, just like, wow, like, look at you, and recognize how much they have to teach me. And not just that I have anything to teach them, but they're teaching me each and every day to smile and shine brightly, because that's what they give to me. And so what to me it was such a pearl of wisdom. The other, so many tools. There's so many amazing tools that Ttouch has taught me, but one of the most pivotal ones for me was the Ttouch harness, because it really helped my relationship and Joy in terms of her reactiveness. So I will give you a brief demo on my little angel Joy, and Cosmo will be there too, who wants to be a part of it. But needless to say, I'll go over some key points. So the biggest one for me with the harness was the fact that it really helped me balance. So normally for me, when I had a collar and just a leash and Joy got reactive, it would take me off I would kind of like be following with her because she wants to lunge forward. But with the Ttouch harness, it's amazing how it helped me to feel balanced in my body, so that I could either redirect her and we could go the other way just by basically shifting my whole body and turning my head and swiveling, and or just asking her politely to sit and then maybe applying some ear slides or zigzags or mouth work, whatever was appropriate for that time. And all I can say is, ever since I've mastered the mechanics of it, so to speak, which to me, at first, I definitely was overthinking it. I thought it was more complicated than it had to be. And actually, it's quite simplistic. But until I understood that, as an example, when I would hold a leash, not the Ttouch leash, but a leash in general, I would wrap it around my wrist real tight and like, I don't want, I basically adding more tension and creating more restriction for Joy. And when I was one day at another training with another dog, I put the loop around my wrist and I was starting to walk, and I got redirected. Like, no, all you gotta do is hold it in the palm of your hand. And I must say, it was difficult for me to understand that. It took me a little bit, but now that I understand it, it's like, yes, it makes so much sense. It's so simple. And there is a science to it, because if I'm holding all this tension, all this restriction on my wrist, now I'm sending that signal to the animal that I have on the other end of it. And again, that's creating, it's for Joy in this scenario. I truly believe it was creating more of her to, get upset and react to the dog. So here we are now. We've got our new Ttouch harness. We're learning it. It's wonderful. She's having a great time. It gives me the opportunity to set up a new experience for her, for a better experience. and it gives her the opportunity to make better choices. Because, you know, now we're out, and at first it was like, oh, I'm so afraid there's a dog coming. But actually, once we started using it and we became more peaceful and harmonious in our walks because she was less reactive and I was less fearful, we actually went out looking for challenges to apply our new tool, which is, you know, there's so many new tools in my toolbox, but by far, as I said, this is one that has just been tremendous. I have Joy and Cosmo over here in the sidelines waiting to be on film. I was going to demo with Joy, but she has made it very clear that that's not something she'd like to do. She doesn't want to be videotaped, so Cosmo has happily volunteered to take on that role, so just FYI. But in the meantime, let me show you some characteristics of the Ttouch harness. So there are 3 loops on the top and then 1 loop that is on the bottom. I know that this single loop goes underneath the chin and or the neck area, and that the single loop goes more towards the ears versus the 2 that rest on the shoulder blades. So, and it also has 3 clips. 1 around the one that goes around the neck, 2 that go around the undercarriage, if you can see that. I always just unclip 1, not ever all 3, because it can get a little complicated. I've known people have actually placed nail polish, different color nail polishes on each individual loop in case all 3 do get undone. But for simplicity purposes, I always unclip 1, and then I place this, you know, say this is the muzzle. So I place the muzzle here, and then this rests on the shoulder blades, as I said. I ask them to give me 1 paw. They lift it up. I place 1 section of the harness underneath the 1 paw. Then I clip up the other end of the section. So that's the harness. And then the double leash connector, which is fabulous for redirection and just sending signals in general. Some of them, then you'll find that the clip is smaller versus the other one. So the smaller clip, I have a tendency to place it underneath the chin. The bigger one I place on the top loop, more towards the ears. The other back 2 loops are generally used for groundwork and beelines, things like that, but that's for another conversation. And then you have the wonderful handle, which is smooth, it's great to the touch, and it swivels. So it really makes the maneuvering wonderful. And that just fits in there like so. And you can always take it off and just use the 2 ends as well for, you know, redirection, things like that. I want to take this time to introduce you to Joy, who is right here on the left, my little angel, and then Cosmo, my handsome fella. As I said, Joy would rather be a spectator. She's sleepy today, and Cosmo would like to assist me in being the demo puppy. I just wanted to take a second or so to show you how to place the harness on. I am asking, there we are, and you can see I have the 1 loop closer to the top. We have the one that goes underneath the chin here, if you can see that. I'm going to ask Cosmo permission to lift his paw so I can place it underneath the 1 loop of the carriage. Cosmo, may I? Thank you. He shifts his weight, I place it on, and then now I hook that up. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then you have the 2 connectors, the one that's smaller, the one that's a little bit bigger. And I place the smaller one under the loop that goes right there. Thank you, Cosmo. And I place this one here, and now he is ready to go. And simply to take it off, again, choose whichever side you'd like. You just unclip and then ask for his paw, which he will happily give me. Thank you. And I just take it off like so. He is going to be my wonderful demo dog to just show you how simple it truly can be to walk with the leash and the handle. And as you can see, I am very clearly just holding it just like this, not like this and all tight, because it can be very unsafe. I mean, if a dog starts to pull that way, they could easily take you with them, which is usually what would happen with Joy. Is I would just have a regular leash on her and a collar, and she would, you know, puff up and get a little reactive towards an oncoming dog, and then I would get off my balance. But with this, it's just so simple. We have the two points of connection, which is right here, one here, one here. If a dog is a little resistant to walk with you or do what you're asking of them, you can easily just slide your hands like so to kind of get them to come along, or again, hold it very, very simply and just go, Cosmo, come, And just turn your whole body and face the way that you would like them to go, and they will follow. It's wonderful. Cosmo, will you sit? Good boy. And I smile at him and I talk to him. Cosmo, sit. Good boy. Do some simple ear slides. Say. And you can see how he's just proud, and he should be, because he's such a good boy and he's been a wonderful demo dog, and I thank you. Thank you, Cosmo. So again, we just saw Cosmo walking with the harness and the leash, which again, as I said, was an amazing tool. And ultimately, just when I walk into a session now or a room with any animal, I just shine and I smile as brightly as I can at them, because I can take the time to witness the brilliance within them, which ultimately has helped me to discover my own, has helped me to find ways that I can truly help them. As you can see, Cosmo. And we just smile and they smile back. I talk to them. I ask them permission before I even touch them, or, and you'd be surprised how they respond. They look for more and they shine brighter, which makes me shine brighter. And ultimately, by being able to witness their brilliance, it's just been a wonderful path. I can't thank Ttouch enough, Joy or Cosmo, who've been my biggest teachers. Obviously Linda, all instructors, all Ttouch instructors, all of the amazing animals that I've gotten to work with, the owners of the animals. And I just want to thank you, because it's helped me to cultivate something that I will be able to carry with me, a tool that I'll be able to carry with me for the rest of my life, so that I can help them. So thank you for helping me.